Hey, coaches. Welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip. Today we're going to be looking at coaching the mesh point from the gun. Don't forget our friends at Right Equipment for all your weightlifting and strength and conditioning needs. That's right-equipment.com. You can find them on the interwebs. Listen, before we get started, let's don't forget, if you're not already subscribing, click on that subscription button. We're doing pretty well. We've got over 1,200 subscribers, but we can do better than that. Also, don't forget to like. Like gives me feedback from YouTube/Google/Alphabet Inc., the people that own it all. And I'm learning how to do that to see what y'all like. And that's why I've tried to shorten some of the videos because obvious the click-through rate, and that's YouTube talk, and I don't really understand it, but I got some young people that do help me. And so click on like. Also, click on the bell will alert you whenever I put new stuff up. Okay. And don't forget to share it. Share it with all your coaching friends and all your football nerd friends, because that's pretty much this stuff here gets a little deep for the casual fan. But if you really love football or if you're a coach, this is some great stuff. All right. Today we're looking at coaching the mesh point from the gun. Now, before I show you anything, well, I'll go ahead and click ahead. I've been listening to guys talking about the RPO and also, of course, studying the run option, like triple option stuff, but from gun. And a lot of them say to point the ball at the read. And I don't know why. I've wondered that. But when I first started getting into it years ago, when we went gun, I really couldn't find anybody to tell me how to teach the mesh in gun. And of course, all through the years when I first started coaching, I came out of Troy in '85 and we were triple option wishbone. And then I started coaching and we were split back veer triple option, inside and outside veer, depending on the year and the type of kids we had. So I knew how to teach that. And then all through the '90s, at different times, we ran I, kind of a Nebraska I with a lot of option. I ran some flex bone in the late '90s, and that's about the time, late '90s, around 2000, we went to the wing T. And from time to time, we'd run midline and things like that from the wing T. And so when I started doing the gun stuff about, 10 years ago, I asked around, and some of my best friends, they said, well, we just, practice it. And I said, well, you don't tell them anything, any coaching points? And he said, no, he said, because it's not as, particular, because you're not as close to the line and all that. Well, I can't go that way. I can't just say, oh, we'll find it. I'm not that guy that's going to say, you'll figure it out. So I just started teaching it the way I taught it from under center. And, under center, you teach them to reach back. Now, look at the diagram here. Okay, we're running the run read, like all of the old, excuse me, this is the RPO read. And it's sidecar, okay? Right here, sidecar. So what I teach the quarterback to do, exact thing we do from under center, extend the ball, in this case, to the dive man or to the running back, to the mesh guy. Extend it out. Now, I teach waist high because that's the way I was taught to do it back in the old days. And I notice now they're doing it a little bit higher. It's almost pad level, a little bit higher than belly button, so they can roll over the top of it. That's obvious. I'm going to show you some video too. But to me, the reason I like extending the ball to the mesh guy, like this, you can see right here, and I'm going to show you some video. He's going to extend it back over here, and he is kind of pointing it at the read right here. But even if he was reading the guy out here, or he's reading the guy, let's say the read guy was right here, we'd still extend the ball backside like this, because here's why. To me, it extends the mesh. It prolongs the mesh. In my opinion, the quicker you get it into the belly of the running back, the longer, when you do my shuffle read, the longer you have. If you extend it straight out in front of you, like if you extended it here and the mesh started here, then the mesh has to end here, because I teach that running back, if that ball's still in his belly when he clears this hip, in this case, the play side hip of the quarterback, lock down on it. Quarterback just lost his opportunity to throw the RPO or lost his opportunity to run it. All right, let's look at it. Same thing, sidecar. Also notice, get ready, Big Book of Bucks is almost here. Probably when most of you are looking at this, it's out. So if you want the Big Book of Bucks, over 100 pages devoted to the buck, all formations, gun, under center, multiple formations, multiple ways of doing it, get your copy, siegel.chip@gmail.com. The Big Book of Bucks, by the time you see, unless you're looking at this like hours or a day after I drop this video, it's out. It's out. Right now, I'm just waiting on a couple of blurbs from some coaches. I sent it off to a few guys to look at, and they're writing blurbs for me. You know how that goes. And I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I've read a lot of books, and that's in books that I read. All right, back to this. Sidecar down here. Now, this is the run read, all of the old zone read. Okay, like Pat White, West Virginia, stuff that Coach Rodriguez made popular, which, by the way, I'm going to visit with that joker because he's just up the road from the house at Jacksonville State. You got a coach like that, that's that close to you. You'd be crazy not to use that resource. All right, now this is the old run read off of outside zone, or we do, of course, I do it out of buck. You'll see a lot of that in the Big Book of Bucks. Same thing. Notice the mesh is the mesh. When we do mesh drill, and we do it every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, during the season for at least 5 minutes. During the summer, we'll do it for 10, 15 minutes. But the mesh is the mesh is the mesh. On Monday, we'll do, I'm just going to make this up, sidecar for 5 minutes. Okay, I set my watch. We go 2 minutes. Okay, we got a 5 minute period. I go about 2 minutes doing sidecar from the left, 2 minutes doing sidecar from the right. Then on Tuesday, 5 minutes, we'll do pistol or offset, basically the same mesh for the quarterback. The back is behind him. We'll do about 2 minutes from the left, 2 minutes from the right, because mesh is mesh, whether you're doing the run read or the RPO read from gun, okay? But notice he's doing the same thing. We're extending the ball toward the running back, okay? Extending the ball toward the running back, right here. And it gives you more, what I coach up is the shuffle, shuffle. Some do hop. I just say shuffle, shuffle. I call it the shuffle, shuffle read. And he gives him more time for the mesh. And so I like it that way. All right, let's go to another one from pistol. And again, to me, pistol and the offset, as long as he's behind him, it's the same thing. Okay? Now, notice this time I've got him, because he's pistol, I've got him taking a step in this diagram with his right foot as he swings his left foot back and extends the ball deep, extending it back to the running back. Why? To prolong the mesh. That's something I didn't say a while ago, because if you get that thing extended, and you're, especially on the RPO game or even the run read game, this is RPO, as you can see, you may not have to ride him very long. As soon as, for instance, let me find my cursor, here it is. If this guy on the snap triggers right here, and the quarterback's extending the ball with depth back here, as soon as he sees his read trigger here, he can disconnect, come back, throw that football. He doesn't have to ride him the entire time. Like in the old days, you would pretty much ride him the entire time. Ride him through and make that end, make that 5-tech tackle or 4-tech tackle the fullback in wishbone or split back veer, the dive back, by sticking it in there, him seeing it in there, and he commits, boom, and then the quarterback pulls it out last second. You don't have to do that when you're in gun and you extend it deep. See, in the old days, it happened up in here on the line of scrimmage. Now it's happening back here. If the quarterback's 4.5, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, when he extends it back here, the mesh begins 6 yards deep. Okay, the mesh begins 6 yards deep, and it ends 4 to 3 yards deep if you're riding it for the full time. So by initiating the mesh point as soon as possible, by extending it to the running back, in this case, getting depth, you extend your ride time. You extend your read time. I guarantee once you start doing it this way, your quarterback will feel more comfortable because he's not as hurried, not as rushed. If you've been doing it the way where you point it at the read and the mesh is bing, bang, boom, okay, and you start doing it this way, I think your quarterback's going to go like, wow. I think it's going to slow the game down for him. It's going to slow the read down for him because he's got more time to make the read because he's extending it with depth and getting it in the running back's pocket. Okay, of course, I teach the running back. He's responsible for the mesh because the quarterback is eyeballing the read man. Now here it is. I had a pistol again, but this is the run read. Some of y'all know I like to run the power read downhill like this. So you're reading. There's your read man over here in red, right here. Okay, in the same steps. He's going to step in this diagram with his right foot, so it's his backside foot, and pivot and swing this foot back and get that ball as deep as he can get it without going back to him with his feet, because he's eyeballing right here. The quarterback's eyeballing right here. And he's going to extend it with depth, get it in the running back's belly as soon as possible, and you got a much longer read. You got a much longer mesh point. It's prolonged. Now, I've got him stepping back here, but you know what he's doing. He's reading this guy right here, and if he commits, he's coming right here. Okay? All right, don't forget the book's out. And get yours in at siegel.chip@gmail.com. Let's watch some video. Got some Pat White, and you're going to see right off the bat, Pat has got the ball, the goalpost in the way, but that's the ball right there. That's the ball. Okay? Look, he's extending the ball. The line's already taken off. Running back's just now taking his steps. Pat's reading this cat right here. But watch, extends the ball here, so the mesh is going to begin here as the running back, who's in sidecar, is crossing face and coming right here and running the sweep right, running outside zone to the offense's right. All right, let's watch. See? Boom. There's no shuffle on that. He didn't teach the shuffle. I do. I picked the shuffle up from Gus when he was at Auburn. See there? You can see it was kind of quick. Boom. See, he gets it back there to him. He doesn't extend it straight out. He extends it back to him. Now watch this one. Boom. Get a little depth. That's more of an old triple option from Gunn. See, extending it back to the backside, reading the end. Now watch the Air Force guy from under. Okay, it's kind of quick. I'm going to run it slow motion. Watch this. He's going to get that ball depth to the fullback's belly. See, it's behind the quarterback, and it gives him longer to make his read. Okay, let's look at it again. I think it's a little slower this time. Oops, see? Look at there. Look, the fullback is still just behind the quarterback when the mesh was made. Now, this is a good one here, too. It's close up. Watch him extend it depth. Extend the mesh. Look how far the ball is behind the quarterback. See, the guys back then, they knew how to run triple option. And believe me when I tell you, mesh is mesh is mesh. Whether you're reading a DN to pitch off of him or to keep off of him, whether you're reading a linebacker, okay, to do an RPO, mesh is mesh. And so I've just always done it the way we were always taught to do it back in the day, back when we were under center running triple option from wishbone and split back veer, because it extends the length of time. And also he doesn't have to leave it in there. If the read commits to the dive or to the power or to the zone, whatever it is you're running, boom, pull it now. Okay, and throw it, pull it now and keep it, pull it now and go pitch on the pitch man, whatever it is you're running. Believe you me, mesh is mesh is mesh. And all you got to do is teach them, boom. See, he didn't ride him. He's got it back there with depth. He didn't ride him. The ball never even got to the pocket. It was on the hip of him. But when he saw that end commit to the sweep, he pulled and went. And you can't do that if you're not meshing until the back is even with the quarterback. Okay? You've got to do it this way. You don't have to. You can keep doing it. If you've been successful, I'm never going to argue with anybody because they got to do what's best for their program. I've just found that reaching back to the running back and initiating the mesh as soon as possible gives the quarterback more confidence, slows the game down for him, slows the read down for him. Look at that. Look at that right there. Look how far back he is. He's reading the guy right now. Okay? And as the kid comes through, boom, he's pulling now. So he didn't ride him all the way up in the line because the read man right here, the dive man, committed inside. So he comes out here and pitches on the pitch man. Okay. All right, get ready. My big book of bucks is almost here. If you're watching this a day, 2 days, 3 days after this video drops, then it's already out. Go ahead and hit me up. Even if you're seeing it an hour after I put it up, go ahead and send it to me. Send me the email that you want the big book of bucks, and I'll go ahead and put you down. And as soon as I get that last page typed in, because remember what it is, it's not a hard copy. It is a it is a Google slide or PowerPoint, if you will, that I share with you. All right. And then, you can, if you want to print something out to show it to the coaches or show it to your players, or if you want to do a presentation with your players or your coaches and put it up on your screen, you can do that. Okay. Which you can't do with a hard copy. That's one of the advantages of it. And the other advantage of it is I don't have to pay to get a bunch of hard copies published and then not sell them. You can say, I'm not confident in myself, whatever you want to say, but hey, or you can also say that South Alabama boy is so tight he squeaks when he walks. All right, guys, that's it for today. I love doing that mesh on the backside. I loved, and I mean, as deep as you can do it. Get it in there, extend the ride of the mesh, gives your quarterback more time to read it, slows the game down for the quarterback, and it lets him leave the ball in the belly of the dive man, of the running back longer, which I think also adds to the deception of the mesh because those guys are seeing, the defense is seeing that ball in that guy's belly for longer. Okay, if you got an athlete at quarterback and you want him to throw it or run it, that's a good thing because now that defense is more likely to commit because they're seeing that ball in that belly for a long time when you put it in there with depth, when you extend the ball back to the running back, to your read man. All right, guys, until next time, don't forget, subscribe, share, like, and be elite.